What up? We got quick slants coming at you. Kay Adams will be joining us in just a minute. We got plenty to get to. First off, though, Bills due? Well, it's looking that way. As we reported Monday, the all-around preference in Foxborough is for Bill O'Brien to be the Patriots' next offensive coordinator. And it ain't close. So how does Bill Belichick truly feel about Billy O? I think this September 2016 press conference moment captures it well. Here's what Bill had to say then. I think the world of Bill. He did a tremendous job for me here. I can't say enough about really everything with Bill. His personal qualities, how committed he is to his family, how committed he is to the football team, how hard he worked. He had a lot of passion and energy, and that was very well received. And he does an excellent job of coaching. Tough, aggressive, hard-nosed, but at the same time, an excellent communicator, somebody that really understands and can talk to the players and can really push them and then still be able to put his arm around them and kind of console them or give them that advice in a little bit different atmosphere. Okay, you ever heard anything quite like that from Bill? No, me neither. So how's Bill O'Brien feel? What makes offensive coordinator in New England preferable to the same job with the Chargers or the Titans, or as head coach of the Cardinals, where Monty Austinfort, former Patriots executive, just went? The Patriots need to figure that out. But in the words of Mike Ehrmantraut, no half measures, Walter. Bill O'Brien is what is best for the football team. If he's resistant, break down the resistance. Pitter patter, let's get at her. All right, time now for the game plan. We got plenty to get to. TV's last dance, we're going to kick it around with Kay. One move away. Is it only just a coordinator and then everything is tip-top in New England? And finally, a cool change. I can't remember what cool change refers to. Kay, what are you doing?
How you doing, Tommy? You're all in on Bill O'Brien. He might be the best candidate. He's familiar with Bill, with ownership, with Mac Jones, of course. Do the fans want Bill O'Brien? We have a poll up. You might be surprised with the results, Tommy.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting when folks take a look at that. But what's fascinating to me, Kay, is people are so comfortable with the notion of Bill O'Brien that he is fully embraced. And really, the time that I've known Bill, he's comfortable with it here. All right, time now for Quickfire. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to say thank you guys for everything this year. I really appreciate all your effort, and I know it's hard for you guys too. It's hard for us players to make it through, and you guys got a tough job, and I appreciate all that you guys do to cover us and everyone who watches and is a big fan of the sport. We're very grateful for everyone's support, and hopefully, I love this organization. It's a great place to be, and thank you everybody for welcoming me, all you regulars, and just very grateful for the respect, and I hope I gave the same thing back to you guys. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Weird game last night. I heard him with Jim Gray and Larry Fitzgerald before the game on his Let's Go show, and he also sounded weird, almost like he was putting 20 on black and up, we win or we lose, let's do it. He's in the post game. I memean, if it smells like a goodbye and it sounds like a goodbye, I think it's a goodbye to Tampa.
It is a goodbye. Did you say a goodbye to Tampa? I think you did, because I feel like that was exactly what it was. But does that mean hello, Las Vegas? Hello, New York Jets? Hello, Miami? Kay, I think he's going to kick through it. I don't think even the people closest to him know exactly which way he's going to go. But there's still so much life in the arm, and he's still such a good player, which brings us to our next installment.
Yes, it certainly does. Let's look at Ryan Clark, who tweeted this. Honestly, after watching tonight's game, who would want Tom Brady starting on their team next year? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you work for ESPN. You watch these games for a living. You commentate on them. You're one of actually the foremost voices there. What in God's name are you looking at if you look at the 32, call it 36 quarterbacks who are taking snaps in anger in the NFL, and don't look at the guy who led the league in attempts and yards as having one of the best arms? Yeah, it looked flat last night. It actually looked like 2019 in New England, Kay, but to me, she laughed derisively. To me, there would be a good and healthy debate whether you want Mac Jones or Tom Brady in 2024 or 3. Wow, I just almost dated this a year.
It's fair. I do think I heard Gronk on, and he comes on my show every week, but I heard him with Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. They do a podcast together called New Heights. Everyone should listen to. And Gronk said that he'd be very surprised if Tom Brady ended up back in New England. I think we all agree he won't be back in Tampa. The McDaniel storyline is cute. Does Brady want to go contend with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert? I know that seems like a loser mentality. He said he wants to play till he's 45, Tom. He's 45.
Yep.
The question used to be, what will make Tom Brady happy? We all know football makes him happy, but now the question is, when is it enough?
He's always looking for the next Everest. And sometimes you look around, there's no more peaks to conquer. Perhaps in this particular discipline, maybe there's another peak out there. But he also said, I'll quit when I suck. And it's just not getting any closer to sucking, Kay. So
it's not. I mean, last night wasn't great, but let's take a look at this other tweet. We need to show you this. This is Zolak. He said, well, after watching some of this dog blank the last 2 days, you should be more than pissed off as a Patriots fan. We could have played with any of them in a blank year, even at 8 and 9. Language, Zolak, language.
Okay, how soon we forget? We're only 8 days away from the end of the season? My God, did you watch what I watched when the Patriots were playing? It's one of the dumbest teams in football this year. You think Mike McDaniel had a tough time at the end of the game? That's how the Patriots looked week in and week out, trying to get plays onto the field, coached up and installed, and then run. They couldn't get it done. They were one of the, again, I'll repeat, they were a paint chip eating team all season long. I mean, their face was full of paint chips and crayons and whatever else they could stuff in their infantile mouths. They weren't smart, Kay. Additionally, we could talk about the fact that they were 8 and 9, and hey, if a break here and there broke differently, they were 10 and 7. If Marcus Jones doesn't bring back a punt, if they don't play against Sam Ehlinger and Colt McCoy, they could be a 6 or even a 5-win team. So do not start to revise what we watched in 2022. Thank you.
Couldn't you have just rolled the clip with the Chandler Jones thing and just made your point with that play?
I didn't even mention it. That's how deep I can go if I need to.
That's what I would reply to Zolak with. Just that play. No, wasn't the year for the Patriots. And they've got a lot to turn around, and they hopefully will.
Okay. They had 32 touchdowns. Can I underscore one more thing? 32 touchdowns. That's less than 2 a game. So that's averaging, what, 12 points a game offensively, and they're going to start scoring 30 in the playoffs? No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
Bring us Bill O'Brien. Okay, here's the deal. There's other drama going on around the league, and it's important because it's about contracts and quarterbacks, and they run the show here. Lamar Jackson last week, of course, came out and he defended himself why he couldn't go in the wild card game up against the Bengals, which they, of course, lost. And then he was quote tweeting, "Please don't go" by R&B singer Tank. He put up a message on his Instagram story that was sort of saying, like, treat people well, appreciate people when you know that they're good. What's going on with Lamar?
To me, the Lamar Jackson domino is going to be very fascinating as it continues to topple, because if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you have a player right now who is representing himself, who wants to, because of the precedent set by the idiotic contract given to Deshaun Watson by the Cleveland Browns, is now saying, I didn't do anything he did, and I might be better than him. So where's mine? And I want it all guaranteed like he does. And the rest of the NFL's looking go, we can't give guaranteed money to a guy who gets hurt all the time. He just missed the last month of the season because of this. So they're betwixt and between. To me, Kay, I can see Lamar Jackson landing with the Miami Dolphins.
I was going to say, did my computer freeze? The Miami Dolphins, interesting destination. People are saying Jets too. We might wind up in your division. And by the way, you were on fire in this quick fire segment. I was not laughing derisively. I was literally laughing because you're wild today. Sure. And I love it. We got one last one for you here. Al Breer. This is the tweet. The Jets, speaking of the Jets, they're going to interview what? Patriots tight end coach Nick Kale. Why are you really? He might be an OC?
Yeah, that's what even further agitates anybody who is a New England Patriots fan right now. Here's the guy sitting right there. He would be coveted around the league. You have him sitting there as an employee who you're actually paying, as opposed to Matt Patricia or Joe Judge, who are being paid by the Lions and the Giants. And instead of putting this guy who's paid his dues and is coming up the ladder like all the other coaches did, you're going to put a defensive coordinator who ran the Detroit Lions even further into the ground in charge. And you're going to put a guy who kept the New York Giants team from realizing its potential in as the quarterback's coach. When that guy was sitting right there.
Tommy, take a breath with me.
Did you say woosah?
Ooh, take a breath.
right.
You're freaking me out. Take a breath.
All right, from the stands coming up now. We do the poll thing. And it's brought to you by me and Kay. Here was the poll that I put out today. Bill O'Brien is the Patriots' preference to become the new OC. If they don't land him, it's a huge friggin' miss. 24% of you said that. Not ideal. So we have a combined 58% feeling that they would prefer a Billy O'Brien. Whatever, man. They'll get someone, bro. Don't worry. And finally, good don't want him. There's actually 11% who said that. Kay, what do the people have to say?
I mean, that 31% that's saying they'll get someone. They won't get the tight ends coach. He might be the Jets OC. All right, Brassy says he wants to be a head coach, right? So either he's great and it's short-lived anyway, or not. Great short is fine, but not like he's a long-term solution. Brian's saying that Bill O'Brien would be ideal, but at this point, any OC will do, LOL. Swim like fish. Only reason why they didn't get a real one for 2022 is for Bill O'Brien. Will says they'll work to get an interview with Greg Bedard.
And I think that's one of the guys who's most in demand right now is the big boy, Greg Bedard. Actually, I guarantee you the big boy would have had a better season in many. At least the big boy was able to pin down quicker and more adamantly than anybody how bad the offense looked. I'm still sitting out there giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Is Bill Belichick calling you? Do you have a hole in your pocket ringing right now with one of the he's not calling you so you can do that thing you do in the show open?
No, I'm not. He's not going to call me. He's not.
All right.
But I still feel
You're on fire.
I still feel like we know what's going on. Time now for Ask Kay. And this is Kay on the Vikings. I think you guys are going to like this because talk about demonstrative. Here she is.
People like to argue, man, who's the most tortured fan base? It's the Vikings. Look at what's going on here. 31 playoff appearances. 31 playoff appearances. Their last Super Bowl appearance was 1975. 0 Super Bowl wins. 31 trips without a Lombardi trophy, okay? It has been 46 years since they made it to a Super Bowl. And then you go 11-0 in one-score games in the regular season with Kirk Cousins rallying the squad for a league-leading 8 fourth-quarter comeback wins. And they couldn't get this one in their first playoff action. And I'm telling you, like, with this fan base, I would rather be a Bears fan. And I'm from Chicago, but if you're a Bears fan, you're riding through Wild Card Weekend, just eating Giordano's pizza like I was, watching these games. You know what you're getting. You're not competing. The Vikings, they lure you in. They get you excited. You're wearing chains on the jet airplane on the way home from these games, and they find new ways to let you down. And they have the most thrilling moments, the mini miracles, and it never amounts to anything.
There were some winners and there were some losers from Wild Card Weekend. That's the Up and Adams show on FanDuel TV. Obviously, you're voting for the Vikings as a loser. You would rather never loved at all than loved and lost.
Yeah. If the Vikings have had to deal with Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre before that, they always have these huge playoff losses. They've been to the NFC Championship game 6 times. It's unbelievable. They never get it done. So yeah, I'd rather definitely be that. My favorite thing is though, Tom, and you'll appreciate this, just the human aspect, that got so many views and so much traction, and fans want to be the most miserable fan base. Jets fans beating up Browns fans. We're the most miserable. No, it's like a badge of honor somehow in the NFL. It's wild.
It is wild. And we continue to hear after 3 bad seasons, sorry, we don't like it. We don't like the feel of it. Kay, Trevor Lawrence, was he a winner from the weekend?
Oh, big time. Are you kidding? 4 interceptions in the first half, and then he gets the win. He's a winner. Doug Peterson, I know that's hard for Patriot fans to absorb there. What a winner he is, and showing how important coaching is. It matters so much. And then Trent Baalke, who everyone wore clown noses and wanted to get rid of immediately with the Urban Meyer thing. He brought in Christian Kirk. He brought in a bunch of guys who were no names anywhere else that made it happen. Evan Engram, are you kidding me?
I know, and he was a beast on Saturday night, which was a great game. Hey, make sure you catch Kay on Up and Adams on FanDuel TV. Great job today. And coming up after the break, we'll get into what the Patriots have done since the end of the season and whether or not you should be, happy like Bill looks in all of these little pictures. Hey, Bill. Happy. Bill. Growth potential. Who's been in charge of the Patriots offense since 2000? Well, you got Charlie Weiss, with some Super Bowls under his belt. Josh McDaniels, no Super Bowls under his particular belt then. Bill O'Brien came in. The Patriots, they went to a Super Bowl. Josh McDaniels, he got himself 3 Super Bowl wins on the back end, his second time around. 1-800-GET-HAIR. Look younger, feel younger, get your hair back with Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. Now it's time for My Slant. Watch out! And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see what this week brings, but the course that the Patriots charted last week, that's a positive. And it was necessary. So what was so good? All they did was make a statement, Tom. There were 2 lines. What are you all excited about? Aha! More than 2 lines. One, at the meeting between Kraft and Belichick, there was no disagreement about how the coaching setup in 2022 went. And number 2, there was a willingness on Bill Belichick's part to change the way things were done and be intentional about it. Which brings us to number 3, the willingness to allow a press release stating that there will be change and that a key coach will be retained. Am I putting a lot on 2 sentences and what it represents? No, I'm not. See, Bill convinced himself over 20-plus years of coaching that being clandestine and enigmatic wins games. It doesn't. It didn't. The wins came because of great players, great coaches, discipline, intelligence. More than anything, it was putting people, coaches, and players in positions to succeed. And the wins stopped coming at the same rate when doing what's best for the team became actually doing what Bill finds most comfortable for himself. Big difference. Because that often meant keeping people in the dark about what their roles were and how they were viewed, which made Tom Brady lose his mind over just that practice from 2014 to 2019. I mean, Josh McDaniels had to take a job with the Colts to even find out how the Patriots felt about them. If you have guys that you don't want to lose, you let them know. So this whole idea of let them hit the market and then reel them back in, it only works so long. Is Bill just going along to get along? We'll see in March when we see him at the owners' meetings and he either snorts and lip smacks and he's passive-aggressive, or he doesn't act like it's dental surgery when asked why this course of action was the best way to do it. And he explains it the way he clearly ought to. All right, appreciate it. But I am enthused at the direction that things are going. Meanwhile, here's the divisional round playoff matchups, a place the Patriots called home for 2 decades. First matchup Saturday, 4:30, Chiefs-Jaguars. Party's over for the Jaguars. That's going to be a beatdown. Bills-Bengals, continuation of the tragically stopped game in early January. We'll watch that one go on. And then, of course, Saturday night's nightcap is a great one in the NFC East. Buckets, our Philadelphia guy, is going to be looking at that one and biting his nails. I do think that Jalen Hurts had better find number 11 and find him quick because Micah Parsons is a pain in the posterior. But those are all games that are definitely worth looking forward to. All right, we're going to get you into, before that, we got a trivia question. We brought trivia back because I didn't feel like doing 2 polls today. This is easy. No, it's not easy, actually. It's how many teams never played in the Super Bowl? And for bonus points, I don't have it up there. Name them. Name those teams, okay? Friday at 6 o'clock, check out the weekly spread. Tom Giles takes a closer look at the sports betting trends for the upcoming football weekend. It's presented by the WynnBET Sportsbook at Encore Boston Harbor. Boston Sportsbook coming soon. Coming up tonight at 6:30, tune in for our Bella Early Edition with Trenny. Trenny Casey will be taking a deep dive into the biggest sports stories of the day, of which one would be Jerod Mayo, former colleague. Here it is.
Tommy, guess who just got a job?
Here?
Working with you. Retired from the Pats, now I'm working with you.
I'm going to slap up my resume one. Have you ever read an article I wrote?
No. Why would I waste my time on that?
Well, how's retired life? Speaking of old.
It's all right, man.
System co-host?
Yeah, it's the system. Quick Slants can make anybody look like a good co-host.
Jerod Mayo here with the Chevrolet Sportsnet Central Update. 8 more years for the little ball of hate in Boston. Bruins winger Brad Marchand has agreed to $49 million extension. What you got there, man?
Slander of the week 17.
Ooh, 7 now. That's 7 now. Tom, still at the bottom.
Are you me?
I'd rather win and be miserable. I'd rather win and be miserable than lose and just be You're like, oh, it's so great. Everyone feels like they have a chance. Well, you don't. You don't have a chance.
What was that?
Hey, next to ketchup, baby.
So, in a way, you might look at that and say, that's the guy who's going to lead the football team potentially one day? And to that, I say, yeah. Because the interesting thing about Jerod Mayo is he's kind of a chameleon. He can be whatever you need him to be. How might Bill Belichick feel about Jerod Mayo getting so much love from the Crafts and a statement being released on his behalf saying, hey, we're going to try and get something done here? Do you think Bill feels irritated, threatened? Or more likely, does he feel proud? I bet it's the latter. Think about it. Bill drafted Mayo in 2008 with the 10th overall pick. He saw him become an all-pro and then Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he tabbed him as a captain in just his second season. He watched Mayo become one of the most respected and charismatic leaders the team has had in Belichick's tenure. Then he brought him back from the business world, and he saw him become a coveted coaching candidate around the league. So much fruit from the Bill Belichick coaching tree has fallen elsewhere and kind of gone sour. For Belichick, having a successor who helped shape the Patriots in a way that Bill oversaw, he allows kind of like for a living legacy, if indeed Mayo becomes the successor. So, after all said and done, if it ends up with Jerod Mayo as Bill Belichick's successor and Bill goes up top to oversee, isn't that the best case scenario? I think it is. Keep Bill around. He has earned it and deserves it. And then everyone lives happily ever after. Trivia answer, guys. Four teams have never even played in the Super Bowl. Browns, Lions, Texans, Jaguars. Only the Jaguars, of course, you know this, have a chance to break that streak. 12 teams have never won it. Can you name them? Let's go Chargers. I started too late. Chargers,